Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Well, last week it was the province of Quebec, with nearly 25% of Canada's population, that was put under curfews, nighttime curfews, from 8 p.m. till 5 p.m., like you're some sort of child or something, like the virus is deadly at 8:01, but not at 7:59 p.m. There's no science there. It's about conditioning us for control. Well, today, as we were sitting in our office here in Toronto, Canada's most populous province of Ontario, everyone in the room, we were in the office, every one of us got this emergency alert on our cell phone. You know, the type usually reserved for a kidnapped kid, an Amber Alert. Well, let me read this to you. Emergency alert. A stay-at-home order is in effect. Only leave home for essential purposes such as food, healthcare, exercise, or work. It is the law. Stay home, stay safe, stay lives. Learn more at Ontario/COVID response. Except that's not the whole story, is it? There's actually 29 reasons, 29 exemptions that allow you to leave your house. Why is the government saying you can't leave the house when there are actually some ways to leave the house? Why are they telling us that we have to be in total fear? Joining us now to talk about this is our friend Andrew Lawton, the host of the Andrew Lawton Show and a pillar of True North. How you doing, Andrew?
Good. How are you doing, Ezra?
Good. Did you get that same Amber Alert on your phone?
I did. I'm glad I'm not a late sleeper, or I would have been roused to it with a genuine emergency alert. It was actually a civil liberties emergency, not the intended one. But yes, I certainly got that blaring on my phone when I was actually trying to record my own show.
Yeah. I mean, we intend to live our lives as we do. And if any police officer wants to stop us, we'll see them in court. We're really doing lots of civil liberties stuff these days. I haven't had a chance to go through the regs very detailed. The weird thing is they announced the lockdown first, but didn't publish the rules till later. How can you do that? No one knows what they have to follow. No citizens know what the rules are. No police know what the rules are. Time and again, we see police going too far, being too threatening with a taser, with arrest, because they don't know what the rules are either.
Yeah, I mean, I think an example of this is Montreal police yesterday or 2 days ago inspecting a woman's lunch bag to make sure there was something essential in it because they caught her breaking curfew. And I guess she had to prove that she had a sandwich in there and not, guitar strings or something like that. But the problem with this emergency alert, when you give a very simple message that you have to stay home, it's the law, they're actually getting people who aren't paying attention to the news, because everyone who has a cell phone is seeing that. And it was very difficult, even for people that do follow the news, to keep up with what the regulations actually were. They announced this, they announced some amendments, they put out a frequently asked questions, they've put out statements, there were conflicting news stories, and it was only 6 hours before the order actually went into effect that the actual text of it was made available. The average Ontarian isn't going to read that and make sure they fall within those 29 exemptions. The average person is going to get that thing on their phone that says it's against the law for you to leave your house.
Yeah. You and I consume more news than 99.9% of people. It's our business. I have a law background. You think like a lawyer, so we can, and you interview great lawyers.
Is that an insult or a compliment?
No, you analyze and you detect the BS words.
Okay.
You know what I mean by that? So you and I would call, this is not a compliment. I think I'm trying to describe our interest in the news. I would call us sophisticated consumers of the news. I'm not saying we can't be bamboozled or we understand everything, but on the spectrum of people, because I'm thinking of, what about someone who doesn't follow the news at all? They don't care. They follow sports and celebrities. They don't follow the news. What about someone for whom English is a second language? They're a little wobbly in English. They just came to Canada maybe. They get this. They don't know. It feels like a police state. What about people who are just plain old simple or naive? And what about people who are scared? And that's a lot of people. They've been conditioned to be scared for almost a year. And then you get this, stay in your home. Do not leave your home. Stay in your home. This is the law. It is straight out of a dystopian science fiction novel, and I think it's terrible.
Yes, and that's precisely the point here, is that this is now for the average person, for I would say the majority of people, telling them that they are not allowed to leave their homes for practically anything. When in reality, it was surprising, given that there was talk of a curfew, how toothless in some regards the order was. I mean, the province's frequently asked questions thing says, well, people will have the right to figure it out, and we're not going to tell a business whether what they're selling is essential or non-essential, and we're not going to tell you whether you can do this or do that. So in a lot of cases, there is a lot of latitude given to people to make up their own minds, which I think should be commended and is what we need to see more of. But when the language surrounding it is stay home, stay home, stay home, you're really sowing confusion. And it's like they're actually creating a law that can't be challenged in a way, because they're telling people to stay home, but the actual order gives more latitude, which means they achieve the result they want without having something that can be challenged in court.
Yeah. That's an excerpt from my daily show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.